news, real news, and what we're going to hear today, medical news. And today we are going to be talking about lots of things, including the first batch of the COVID-19 vaccine, which has arrived in the UK. We are going to be talking about a Canadian university who think they found a diabetes cure. Well, they cured diabetes, at least in mice, so they say. Plus, we're going to be talking about how US customers can get insulin delivered to their door thanks to Amazon. Plus, we'll be taking a little look back at World Diabetes Day and Diabetes Awareness Month. But before we jump into the news today, I just want to welcome my guest or co-host for today's live broadcast, Jade Byrne, who many people will know as the creator of Prick. So firstly, Jade, hi, welcome to the broadcast. And if people haven't heard about you and what you do, how would you explain it to them?
Hello, everyone. Well, I have a show, as you said, called Pricks. Pricks is a one-woman theatre show written by me, performed by me, and it's about life with type 1 diabetes. Makes you laugh, makes you cry. It's my story, but it's other people's stories as well, and it's been really successful. And I also am the writer of Daisy Donald, and I'm a type 1 diabetes advocate for ambassador for lots of things, and I also have a shop, Pricks Products. So yeah, lots of type 1 related stuff. That's me at Pricks Official.
Fantastic. So Jade is going to be helping me go through today's stories, and they didn't work at the start, but they are working now. So I'm just going to run through the topics that we are covering today. So first up, we are talking about the first batch of the COVID-19 vaccine, which has arrived in the UK. We are discussing a pilot program in Plymouth, which is trying to tackle diabetes burnout. We are also going to be touching on today the fact that US customers can get insulin delivered to their door thanks to Amazon with their new pharmacy, a massive disruption in the US healthcare system. Plus, the first batch of the COVID-19 vaccine has arrived in the UK before being rolled out next week. So that is our top story for today. So we'll start with that. If I can stop them from going round. Looks like we're going around again. Okay, so just to recap, Canadian scientists say they've cured diabetes in mice. Pilot program in Plymouth is trying to tackle diabetes burnout. And once again, US customers can now get their insulin delivered to their door thanks to Amazon. And there we go. There we are. We're back in vision, and that means we can continue with today's news. So just in, the first consignment of the Pfizer-BioNTech coronavirus vaccine has arrived in the UK. It's been taken to a central hub at an undisclosed location and will now be distributed to hospital vaccination centres around the UK. Now, we know that the UK has ordered 40 million doses. That's enough to vaccinate 20 million people initially. And we can expect up to 99% of hospital admissions and deaths to be less in future waves thanks to this vaccine. Now, the UK was actually the first country in the world to approve the Pfizer-BioNTech coronavirus vaccine, paving the way for mass vaccination. It was a bit controversial earlier on in the week with Education Secretary Gavin Williamson sort of getting a bit cocksure, let's say, about the way he described our fast are maybe hastened way to approve this vaccination. Now, this one offers 95% protection against the COVID-19 illness. And the first 800,000 doses, which the health secretary said he is confident that we have and will be ready to go, will be available from next week. Now, Jade, this is obviously news that everyone was waiting for, but this is just the start, I guess, of a gradual return to normal, hopefully.
Oh, I hope so. I was so excited to hear this news, so excited. Just the fact that there might be some normality coming back soon. So yeah, I think it's super good news for the UK, and I'm proud that it's come from the UK first, that we're the first country to approve it.
Hmm. And the comments from Gavin Williamson, I don't know if you heard them. I think yesterday they were being absolutely, they were played on loop on radio stations and news channels in England and maybe around the world, when he was sort of boasting about the fact that we'd approved this vaccination first. And he said, we've done it before the Belgians, we've done it before the Americans, we've done it before the French. We're the best, we're the best, we're the best. And that maybe wasn't received in the way he intended. I wonder what your thoughts were that on. Was he boasting and claiming a success that really wasn't something for us in the UK to claim, and wasn't an attempt by the government to be the first at something after a succession of slow actions and failures at the start of the pandemic?
That's quite possible. Obviously, you can tell by my reaction that I completely bought into that. This is fantastic because I was like, I'm proud it's from the UK. I think I know it probably didn't come across correctly the way the way it did it, but I know that we are like so super safe in the UK that it will have been tested to the nth degree. Like literally, I'm confident. I'm very confident in our health system. So I'm extremely confident that this vaccine has been tested appropriately and properly. So I think fair enough. He's just excited. People can't find their excitement.
I mean, there is form from Gavin Williamson. He's said things like this before. He's not one of the political stars that have come out of this pandemic, especially with the the crisis in the A-level and GCSE results that we had earlier on in the year, and then obviously a lot of controversy in what is going to be happening with future examinations. We've had Scottish and Welsh examinations cancelled, but they are very much still going ahead in England, despite the fact that they said they would be delayed. It's turned out that not actually many of the exams will receive that 8-week delay, which was first put forward by the government. I'm just going to say hello to everyone that's watching. We've got Daniel Goff. He says, thank you, Jamie, for all the great information you share about type 1 diabetes. My niece is type 1 and on the pump. Stale Crustables, I can't repeat your comment because I will likely get blocked off the internet. COVID-19 is definitely not a hoax, having known people suffered with the disease itself and seen positive tests myself. Daniel Goff says, you two are brilliant. Pablo is watching from Los Angeles. Hello to you, Pablo. More COVID deniers in the comments. And Daniel Goff again says, future hugs and kisses for everyone after the vaccine. Absolutely. So we are expecting the most vulnerable to get the vaccinations first, healthcare workers and elderly people in care home. They've been put on the top of the priority list, followed by over 80s. But much of those vaccinations are likely to happen in the first instance in hospitals, because this first vaccine, the first vaccine to get to market, the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, needs to be stored at very cold temperatures, so minus 70 degrees Celsius. So that means a lot of the first initial doses will be given out in sort of close supervision to ensure that none of it is wasted, because every drop is very precious. Now, the Pfizer-BioNTech jab is the fastest vaccine to go from concept to reality, only taking 10 months. Now, that the process would usually take somewhere like a decade. Is that something that you're worried about, Jade? Because there's a lot of concern in the sort of discourse in the public and on sort of, Twitter. Take a look at Twitter today, people chatting about the vaccine. There's a bit of unsurety about its safety.
I'm an optimist. I'm an optimist, and I'm always been pro-vaccine with regards to any sort of illness. So I am not going to let myself be too concerned about that, because I think the prospect of being able to hug relatives and friends in the not too distant future is too exciting for me to be pessimistic about that.
And listen, we have there's a lot, it's not like this is the first vaccine that anyone's ever developed. There's many years decades of understanding and information and researching on how vaccines affect bodies and conditions. Yes, this has approached market very, very fast. And yes, if you ask a doctor, they will be reserved on how they respond to a question like, how will it affect my bipolar medication and things like that. But on the whole, vaccinations have been delivered safely for many, many years. So just because this has reached market so quickly, I don't think that should really dissuade people from taking it. Got a comment here from John Jansen, which says many deniers here in the US, and I think that's going to be, they're always going to exist, all of those people. But I think I definitely have faith that this vaccination, one of many, which we'll eventually see, will be absolutely essential in getting everything back to normal. And currently around 50 hospitals are on standby and vaccination centers are being set up right now. And it's thought that once they're up and running, 1 million doses a week could be given out as soon as those are available. And that's the point, because these vaccines currently are in short supply, 800,000 doses. If people need 2 jabs in order for it to be as effective as has been shown in the trials, then you'll need that amount of doses will cure or inoculate 400,000 people, which coincidentally is the amount of people in type 1 diabetes in the UK.
That's right.
So Jade, for people like us, obviously clinically vulnerable, not extremely vulnerable, but people like us who are more susceptible to severe illness with COVID-19, are you surprised that we're not at the top of the list?
No. Because when we first started lockdown, it was made fairly clear. Parthakar was often sharing stuff on his social media. I felt it was made really clear that actually we're not more prone to pick it up. We're not more prone to catch it. And yes, it might be a bit more difficult if we do get it, but